Good morning, everybody. This week's prize is really epic, but before I describe what the prize is, I want to explain to you a little bit about the backstory of where the idea came from. So if you bear with me for a couple minutes, I want to tell you the story about my Aunt Emily. And those of you who've known me a long time know how important Aunt Emily was to me. She did pass away, but when she was a child, she was chosen to be the March of Dimes child to symbolize their fundraising campaign. This was in 1952. This is my Aunt Emily. And this is my Grandma Geneva. Recognize that name, Neva Bainey? And the reason she was chosen is because my Aunt Emily had polio when she was a child. So I want to tell you a little bit about the story. Bear with me. It says, little Emily Ann Stevens has been chosen as the Sunlintunga polio child to symbolize the 1952 March of Dimes campaign. Emily Ann is a 7-year-old daughter of Mr. and Mrs. William Stevens. She was stricken with polio in April 1951 and spent 3 weeks in quarantine and in critical condition in the county hospital. Her temperature for 2 weeks was 104 degrees. Her right leg was paralyzed and paralysis was starting into her respiratory system. The doctors chose to put my Aunt Emily in an iron lung to save her life. The treatment was successful. Once she was recovered a little bit, she was moved to another hospital, summarize, and here's what it says. At this time, Emily's legs were still paralyzed, and it was a happy and thankful mother and father who saw their little girl take her first steps 5 weeks later. So my Aunt Emily was basically paralyzed. She was in an iron lung. The story goes from the family that the doctors told my grandparents to call the priest in, that she wasn't going to make it. So this whole story, the fact that she actually recovered from polio, lived from it, and wasn't paralyzed, she actually did walk again and live a normal life after that, was really amazing. But she told me, and she didn't talk about it a lot, but she told me that those weeks where she was really, really sick, there was only one thing that kept her wanting to fight that fight, to recover from that polio. Can you imagine being sick and being paralyzed? She said it was that people from the church brought over a bunch of wrapped presents. And she told me the only reason she wanted to live from one day to the next was because she wanted to see what was inside the present. So this week's prize is going to be 12 wrapped presents for your class. I'll tell you what they are tomorrow because we're already at 3 minutes, but the first prize, I'll give you a hint, is a Christmas tree. And the second prize is some ornaments to put on it. Now, you can think about how you might want to use it, but the whole goal is creating some kind of something to look forward to, because you've got kids in your class who don't have anything to look forward to in 3 weeks when it's time to go on Christmas break. It's not fun for them to be out of school. So, I'll tell you all about the prize tomorrow, but I wanted to tell you the backstory today. Have a wonderful day.